What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bradley's Garage. Today we're working on our 2016 Kia. If you haven't seen the other videos on our channel, we've done a bunch of work on this guy. So today we're going to be doing the rear brakes. We got that squealing going on, so you know that the pad indicator, the little metal strap, is rubbing against the rotor. So we got the car already off the ground, of course. As you can see, the wheel is off, and so let's walk you through how easy it is to do the rear brakes on these Kia Fortes. First step, I still have the emergency brake on. What I like to do before we start taking anything apart is loosen these rotor stay bolts. Sometimes they're tight, and depending on where you live, they might be corroded. Okay, I just basically loosen them, and then we can go ahead and release the emergency brake. In some cases, you might need to get your little impact driver in order to smack it and loosen these guys. So in our case, you know, we're in Southern California, so it's not too corroded, so it came off pretty easy. But just FYI, in case yours are stuck on there, you don't want to strip it, because that's the only way you're going to be able to get the rotor off. So first up, we're going to go ahead and get our 14mm socket onto a ratchet here, and we're going to go ahead and break these free. They're generally not very tight. Sometimes you might need to have a 17 here if this starts to turn, so you can just have one handy. All right, so that's your top bolt, and then down below you're going to need to have a little 3-inch extension on there, just because the emergency brake cable is sort of right in your way. So okay, I got it loose. And then these, you can just really, you can spin them off by hand. Okay, and then I just give this a little bit of a wiggle. It shouldn't really be on there very tight. And then you can go ahead and just pull that off. Okay, it's sort of held on by the brake. I just kind of set it up over here out of the way. All right, so now we have our pads. We can take off the inboard, outboard. They just basically slide out. You can see we have a few millimeters there. So initially I thought, oh, it looks like they're still good, but we're getting that squealing noise. So then if you look at the inboard pad, basically this is completely worn out, and then you can see how it's touched. See how it's shiny right there? So that's touching, just barely touching the rotor, and that's your indication that the brakes are shot. So those are the old pads. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the carrier portion off. So we got the caliper off, now we'll get the carrier portion off, and then we can get this rotor off. For the carrier, you're gonna switch to a 12mm socket. As you can see there, these are a little bit tighter than the caliper. And it feels like, I think they put thread lock on these because they're tight the whole way. Okay, I'll get that one loose. And then we're gonna go ahead and go to the bottom. Yeah, has red thread lock, so no wonder they're tight. Okay, this thing's, get this off. Okay, so now you got that one off, and then this just simply just slides straight off. That's it. We'll clean everything up. Next up, you can go ahead and back these rotor stay bolts, or screws I should say. Take them out. Okay, and then this rotor should come off. Sometimes it's kind of stuck. You might have to tap it a little bit with a rubber mallet. Okay, and there we go. So since the e-brake uses the actual pads, you know, the disc part, there is no, you know, inner pad, any shoes. So you guys, it's up to you if you want to. In our case, we're going to go ahead and just turn this, since this is the original car. It's got 65,000 miles on it, so it's got very, very, very small lips, so we should be able to spin these rotors, do a little turn on them, which is like 15, 20 bucks. Otherwise, new rotors are about 60, so it really comes down to your personal preference. We're going to go ahead and just turn them, and put some new pads on. So we're going to drop those off. So we'll do the same thing on the other side, take it off, and then we'll head down to O'Reilly's and get these turned. So we picked up the rotors, only had to shave a tiny bit off. The minimum thickness on these is 8.4 millimeters, and these are measuring about 9.4 to 9.6 right and left, so we're good there. Just grab your brake cleaner, get a little bucket underneath. Just do a quick cleanup on the backing plate and the caliper itself. Okay, we'll do a little cleanup on the carrier as well. Just going to pull off these. They come with our new pads, so we don't need to use the guides. All right, so you will need to have a little, a caliper compression tool. So you can either rent one of these. We bought this off Amazon, so we'll put the link in the description. But on this particular set, it's using number F is your guide to match up with this piston. So we're gonna go ahead and just lower it all the way down, and we'll get it in place. Show you how it works. All right, so you see the two little notches in there. You're just gonna line that up with your tool. So we're gonna put that in here. Make sure you're all the way open so you have plenty of room. Slide the tool and then just rotate it around till you get into the grooves, and then you can tighten this up. Okay, so you see we're in the groove there. Tighten it up, and then all you got to do is just spin it back. It's like a threaded piston, so you need to have this special tool. You can't just push it back with like a C-clamp or something like some of the old school stuff. And I think on the Kia, it seems like it doesn't have like a hard stop. So what we're doing is we're just pushing it back as we go. So you just want to basically get it flush with that boot. Okay, and then back this off. And then now we're basically, you can see the seal, it's kind of flush. So everything's good. Next up, we're going to get this rotor. Just go ahead and line up your holes for the rotor stay bolts. They're here. Get your caliper to kind of sit there. And then what I like to do is put a little anti-seize on these, and then that way you'll never have a problem taking them off. Help prevent corrosion. We're just using the little Permatex anti-seize, so all you need is a little dab. And you don't have to go crazy with these. It doesn't have to be, tight. All you have to do is just snug it. It's just holding it in place for you to do the rest of this assembly. So you don't have to get all crazy tight. We're gonna just go ahead and pull these slide pins out. You can just pull them out, and then this rubber piece just peels off. It's in a little groove. All right, so we're just gonna get our towel, wipe these off, and we just want to re-lubricate these so it's all fresh. Sometimes moisture gets in there. Sometimes you get a little surface corrosion, rust. And then we got our SIL-Glyde. This is like a silicone based. So this is what we're going to use to lubricate our pins. So just be liberal amount. Not going to hurt anything. And then these, what you do is you go ahead and just stick these back in, because they're a real pain to get back in with the pin inside there. So you see this is the side that goes in. It's usually the clean side. All right, and then now you can go ahead and slide your pin in, and then all you have to do is just push it in till it seats and wipe off the excess. So it's a lot easier this way. So just slide it in and then just till it seats. So next up, we're just going to get some thread lock, put it on our carrier bolts, and then we can go ahead and get our carrier in place. The bolts go towards the back. And you just kind of wiggle it around till you find the hole, get it started. Same thing on the bottom here. You kind of have to move it around just to get it to the right height. Okay, get those started. Then get your 12 millimeter and you can kind of just snug those. Okay, and they might not go all the way because, like I said, that thread lock from the factory is still, the remnants are still there. So you can go ahead and just finish snugging it up by hand. Okay, then go ahead and get your torque wrench after you snug them. We're going to set it to 47 foot-pounds. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and snug those down. All right, perfect. Then go ahead and grab your shims, and they go on just like this. You kind of slide that front edge in, and they kind of just snap into place. Same thing here. You want that little part going up inside the groove. Okay, and then get your pads. I put the back pad with the wear indicator, put it on this side, so you kind of just put it in the top, get it started. It's a little bit springy, sometimes this one likes to pop up. Get that in. Same thing on this side. You kind of just set it in the channel, and then it simply just pushes in. That's all you got to do for the pads. Super easy. Okay, then I'm just going to get our normal brake grease, and we'll grab our caliper here, and we're just going to go ahead and put a little bit on the piston there, and I just paint these two fingers here. I mean, the pads themselves have a backing plate, so theoretically they shouldn't squeak, but it doesn't hurt to just add a little bit on. And then you're going to simply slide this. If it hits, just push those in. Sometimes, you know, the pins stick out a little bit and they're blocking your access. So just get those lined up. You kind of have to wiggle it a little bit, find the hole, get it started. Okay, same thing on this one. We're just going to go ahead and get it snug. So you have your 3-inch extension on this one. Snug it. Okay, and then we'll grab our torque wrench again. And then we're going to go ahead and set it to 23 on these, so not that much. All right, same thing on the bottom. All right, perfect. Last step I like to do is a little anti-seize on the threads. So just paint those, and then you can go ahead and throw the wheel back on. Okay, we got the wheel back on. Just make sure and retorque your lugs. We're just setting it to 80 foot-pounds. Don't forget to do this, otherwise, you know, your wheel will start rattling, and then if you don't stop and tighten it, then your wheel will fall off. All right, last step we got to do is bed the brakes in. So we'll post that little PDF below, and you can screenshot it if you want. Just go for a little quick drive, do some stops, get those brake pads seated to the fresh rotor, and that way you're going to have longevity. Things will stay good, and shouldn't have any problems. So hopefully that helps you out with your little Kia Forte rear brakes. I think they use these same things on the Hyundai Veloster, the Elantra, so pretty common setup for these pads, calipers, rotors. Be sure to check out the channel for other routine maintenance items we've done on this little Kia, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.